Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya that we recognize the premier position of Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada explained that in the future there will be many Acharyas, but there's only one founder Acharya. And Srila Prabhupada ordered that all of the properties, they should have that, it should be shown on the property, like on the logo of the property, on the address of the property, should be noted that the founder Acharya is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So now we have the smaller bronze form of Srila Prabhupada here, but tomorrow we're going to bring the life-size murti of Srila Prabhupada into position. And it's significant because all of us need to understand that we have a relationship with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is not just only for his disciples, but everyone who's a member of ISKCON has a relationship with Srila Prabhupada. And we want everyone to be aware of that relationship with Srila Prabhupada. Although Srila Prabhupada is not physically present, not physically manifest, but Srila Prabhupada, when he was often asked, like, who will be in charge of your movement after you leave the world? And Prabhupada would say, I will live forever by my books. So that's one way in which Srila Prabhupada is present, by his books. And you can see the books of Srila Prabhupada there. We keep Prabhupada's books, we use them for our classes every day. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, these are the main books of our Krishna conscious society. And we're guided by Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So Prabhupada's books are there, and Srila Prabhupada's society is also there. The institution, ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada considered himself also to be a member of ISKCON. One time, the members, the very senior members of our society were having a meeting, and they were asked to vote. And when they voted, Srila Prabhupada also voted. And every people laughed. But Prabhupada explained to them, he said, yes, I'm also a member of ISKCON. That he considered himself to be a member, and at the same time, of course, he is the founder of the ISKCON society. So sometimes we do get problems, we get difficulties. People want to go out of ISKCON and they want to make their own society. So Srila Prabhupada understood that that may happen, and he didn't mind so much. He understood that for some people it would be difficult to work together with everyone. And he, even in his own time when he was present, he allowed some people to go out and to make their own society. But Prabhupada encouraged them. He said, keep the same standards. Keep the same standards. Just like we have the 4 rules, the 4 principles, and the daily chanting of 16 rounds. And he encouraged them to also do things like shave their heads and have a shika and wear the neck beads and tilak. These things, these are like the signs of the Vaishnava, of the devotee. So Prabhupada didn't mind so much that people went out of ISKCON, but he wanted that they would keep the standards which are there in ISKCON. Prabhupada worked very hard to impress upon us the importance of spiritual standards. Spiritual standards, things like waking up early in the morning. Prabhupada himself would hardly sleep. He would get up about midnight and he would begin to translate his books. He would take some rest, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening. He would rest for a couple of hours, maybe like from 10 o'clock to midnight. And then he would wake up without even an alarm clock. He himself would get up and he would do his translation and write his commentaries. It was a very good time for Prabhupada to write. During the daytime, of course, just like here, it's hot. And then maybe many visitors. Certainly, wherever Prabhupada went, there were many visitors. People would hear that, oh, this great Swamiji has come. The one who has spread the Hare Krishna mantra to the Western world. And many people would want to see him. They would all come, many different people, reporters, sometimes television cameras, different people from all walks of life. Somehow they were attracted to come and from the Swamiji. And Prabhupada liked to meet people. He liked to talk to them and to discuss philosophy with them. He considered that was his duty as a spiritual teacher. He would teach all of us how to present the Krishna conscious philosophy, how to tell people about Krishna. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Kurmakshetra and there was a Brahmana there who wanted to leave his home and go with Lord Chaitanya. And the Brahmana was saying to Lord Chaitanya, I cannot tolerate the pains of the material world. I want to leave everything. I want to leave my family and just go with you. But Lord Chaitanya did not encourage this mood. And Lord Chaitanya was very emphatic, very powerful about enforcing his mood onto this Brahmana. And he told the Brahmana, don't speak like this again. And Lord Chaitanya gave his famous instruction to the Brahmana, telling him, Yari dekhi tari kaho Krishna upadesh, Amar agaya guru hana tara edesh. That wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. And in this way, become a spiritual teacher. Is it Lord Chaitanya? Amar agaya guru hana. By my order, become a spiritual teacher and deliver the world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered this Brahmana in Kurmakshetra how he should use his time and how he should dedicate his life to telling people about Krishna. And it was the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's ordered, not only is he giving the order to this Brahmana at Kurmakshetra, but he's giving the order to all of us, that we should all tell people about Krishna. We should all become like spiritual teachers. You may say, oh, I know I don't want to be a teacher. But actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, you should. But you should know about Krishna. You have to hear regularly the topics of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya met with Ramananda Rai. They met on the banks of the Godavari. Godavari, one of the holy rivers in South India. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after he'd been at Kurmakshetra, he came further south and he came to a place which is on the opposite side from a town called Rajamundry. Rajamundry, we have an ISKCON temple there today. So on the opposite side from that town, Ramananda Rai had come there with an entourage, because Ramananda Rai was a governor in the district of South India. He was in charge. The whole area was actually ruled by the king of Puri. The king of Puri in the times of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Maharaj Prataparudra. And it said the king of Puri is a descendant of Indrajumna Maharaj. Not the Indrajumna we have in ISKCON, but the Indrajumna who established the worship of Lord Jagannath thousands of years ago. So Maharaj Indrajumna's descendant in the times of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Maharaj Prataparudra. And he had a big kingdom. The king of Puri was very powerful. He was fighting with the Nawab. In Bengal, there was a Nawab, Hussain Shah. They said he was Jarasandha, incarnation of Jarasandha. And the Chandkazi was there in Mayapur, he was Kamsa. They came in Krishna and Chaitanya Lila. So they were fighting and they were trying to fight, but they could not defeat the king of Puri. The king of Puri was very powerful. And he had such an empire, it went all the way down into South India, to Rajamandri, almost all the way to Chennai. It was a huge empire, a huge kingdom. And Ramananda Rai, he was in charge of the region in the southern part of the kingdom. So Lord Chaitanya had met with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the priest in the Jagannath Puri temple. He was the head priest. And he was very close to the king of Puri. So Lord Chaitanya had made Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya into a devotee. Before he met Lord Chaitanya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a logician and a mental speculator and a jnani. So he had all impersonal conceptions about the nature of the Absolute Truth. It is said Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the incarnation of Brihaspati. Brihaspati was the guru of the demigods. So he came in Chaitanya Lila as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had been made into a devotee by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the whole long story, but we won't tell that tonight. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he told Lord Chaitanya that when you go to South India, you must meet this man, Ramananda Rai. That Ramananda Rai, he is a great devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking his bath at the Godavari. You know, in those days, there was no pipes and there was no water running from taps. You took a bath, everybody would go to a river and take a bath. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was traveling, he took his bath at the Godavari. And while he was there at the Godavari, at that time Ramananda Rai came. He was the governor. Even the governor has to come take bath in the river. So he came with a big entourage with all of his servants, secretaries, people who were assisting him. The Ramananda Rai came there and he met with Chaitanya. Somehow the two met together. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Ramananda Rai, then they awakened their ecstatic love. Because Ramananda Rai, he is an incarnation of the Gopi Vishaka. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we say Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. Mahaprabhu is not different, he is the combined form of Radha and Krishna. He is Krishna, but he has come in the mode of Srimati Radharani. He wants to experience that Radha Bhav, that great love which Radha has for Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Ramananda Rai, and Mahaprabhu understands the spiritual identity of Ramananda Rai. That Vishaka Gopi is the very dear friend of Srimati Radharani. And so Mahaprabhu was very happy to meet with Ramananda Rai. And they discussed together. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in a Brahmana family, and later on he took sannyas. He took sannyas in the line of Shankar Acharya. In order to take sannyas in the line of Shankar Acharya, you must be in a Brahmana family. Nobody can take sannyas in that without being born in a Brahmana family. We see there were some people, like maybe you remember that one man, Maharishi. Remember him? Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He was quite a prominent. He actually wanted to take sannyas, but because he was born in the Brahmana family, they wouldn't give him sannyas. So he just had to go on his own, become a Maharishi. It is imperative, but he was following the Advaita mark, impersonalism, monism. So Ramananda Rai, he was born in the Sudra family. He was not born in the Brahmana family, but he was highly educated. He had studied all of the scriptures, and he had a lot of knowledge about Lord Krishna and the different relations and emotions, and loving ecstasies which are experienced between Krishna and his devotees. So, when Lord Chaitanya met with Ramananda Rai, Lord Chaitanya began to ask questions from Ramananda Rai. And Ramananda Rai protested. He said, no. He said, listen, he said, you are the sannyasi. You are the Brahman. I should be putting questions to you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kipa Vipra, Kipa Nyasi, Sudra Keni Nai. Ye Krishna Tattvavit, Se Guru Hoy. He said, keep a Vipra. He said, doesn't matter if you are a Vipra. Vipra means like a learned Brahman. Or a Nyasi, a renunciate, sannyasi. Keep a Vipra, keep a Nasi, Sutra Keni Nai. Even your Sutra. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what position you're born in the material body. Ye Krishna Tattvagat, say Guru Hai. If you know the Krishna Tattva, if you know the science of Krishna, then you can become the spiritual teacher. So this is Lord Chaitanya's instruction, his judgment in this matter, that one may be born a Brahmana, he may not be a devotee. So he may be born in the Brahmana family, but he has no devotion, even though he studied the scriptures. But if he has no devotion, then he should not become spiritual teacher. And someone else, they're not born in a good family, they have a low birth by material stuff. But if they have studied the scriptures and they have devotion, then they can also be spiritual teachers. So we have to understand the qualification is not material, but it's an opportunity for everyone. Just like Srila Prabhupada himself, he was not born in the Brahmana family. His Bengali name was, the family name was Day. So they were business people. He was from a wealthy business community, but they were not Brahmins. We should understand that some people give too much importance to birth. It's not the birth so much. What is important is the devotion. And we can see in the life of Lord Krishna. Now Lord Krishna was born in the family of the Yadus. the Yadus, meaning there was people like Uddhav and others there in the Yadu family. But Lord Krishna had more interest to be with the Pandavas. The Pandavas were not in the from the Yadus, they were different. They're from the Kurus. But Lord Krishna, although he was born with the Yadus, he was born from Vasudeva and Devaki, they were from the Yadu family, but Lord Krishna was more attracted to the Pandavas because they were the more devotee people. Yadus, the Yadavas, they were also devotees of Krishna, but Krishna took more interest, he had more affection for the Pandavas. Just like we were reading this morning about how Krishna cared so much for Arjuna to help him overcome so many difficulties. Lord Krishna would always be there to help him to overcome any obstacles. Even when his life was being threatened by grandfather Bhishma, Lord Krishna broke his promise and picked up the chariot wheel and came rushing towards grandfather Bhishma. He broke his promise to save the life of his dear devotee Arjuna. So Krishna shows how he has the deepest love for his devotees, like the Pandavas. He doesn't just care only who is his mother, who is his father. His mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were in prison. Lord Krishna was in Vrindavan with the cowherd boys. Lord Krishna was enjoying in Vrindavan with all the people in Vrindavan. He was enjoying his Leela there in Braja. His mother and father were in the prison. Didn't he care about his mother and father? Oh, he cares, but he cares more about his devotees. So we ourselves, we often get lost in bodily affection. We're thinking about the family relationships, these things. These are what we call fallible soldiers. They cannot save us at the time of death. You know, when actually we're encouraged that in old age you don't want to stay at home. You want to get out from the home. And we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam how Vidura came back to preach to Dhritarashtra. That Dhritarashtra had been staying at home with the Pandavas. Although Dhritarashtra had tried for so many years to have the Pandavas killed, and he had encouraged his sons to go to war with the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra wanted so much to see his sons victorious in the battle of Kurukshetra and to finish the Pandavas. But it was not to happen. Instead, Dhritarashtra's sons were all killed. And Dhritarashtra was left. And he was staying in the home of the Pandavas, eating the food of the Pandavas. So Vidura was the brother of Dhritarashtra, right? There were three brothers, Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidur. Vidur was born from the maidservant woman. Vidur is actually Yamaraj. Yamaraj had a curse against him. He had a curse. The story is that there was one Muni, Mandaka Muni was in the cave, and it happened that some gang of thieves also came into that cave. So Mandaka Muni, he just stayed in this cave because he'd been living in that cave a long time. But these thieves, they had been killing people and robbing people, and then they came to hide from the police, and the army were coming to look for them, and they went to hide in the cave. And it happened, the king's soldiers came and they arrested everybody in the cave. And they arrested this Mandaka Muni also. They thought he's one of the gang of the thieves. And they all went to court, and the judge sentenced all of them to death. They all have to die. And in those days, they killed people in a very horrible way. They would make them walk off a plank onto many spears. There were many sharp spears all going up in the air, and they would have to walk off the plank and fall onto the spears, and their whole body would be pierced by these spears. In this way they would die a very painful death. So they were to die like that. And it happened that Mandaka Muni, although he was innocent and he was a great sage, he was also put into that situation. And what could he do? He just accepted it. Somehow, just before they were able to kill Mandaka Muni, the king heard about what had happened. And the king immediately came, and he fell at the feet of Mandaka Muni. And he begged the sage, please forgive me. A great mistake has been made. I know you are not guilty of anything. Please forgive us for any injustice. And please go back to your life of renunciation. So Mandaka Muni was freed, and he thought to himself, what happened? What did I do to deserve this? You know, when things go wrong in our life, we should also reflect, what happened? Why is it like this? What did I do wrong to deserve this? You know? There must be some reason, you know. Of course, when we have surrendered to Krishna, if we have taken shelter of Lord Krishna, then we understand it's the plan of Krishna. For the devotee, it's not karma. Devotees don't suffer karma. But devotees, they may get some special arrangement of Krishna, which appears like suffering. So Mandaka Muni, he wondered what had happened. Understand, this Mandaka Muni was not a pure devotee. He was a sage, he was a yogi, but he was not a pure devotee. So he still had some karma. So he went to see Yamaraj to find out what happened. Why did this thing happen to me? And so Yamaraj told him, he said, when you were a young boy, you used to take pieces of grass, sharp grass, and you would pierce insects. And you would stick the grass into the bodies of insects. And you would collect insects on the piece of grass. So this was your reaction. Do harm to someone, it will come back to you. Right? As in the Christian Bible, they also teach about this. They say, as you sow, so shall you reap. In China they say the same thing. Shan yo shan bao, yo bao. Right? And in Hindi they have the same thing. They say Jaisa karega, aisa parega. Right? It's the same thing. It's the law of nature. You do harm, you give pain to someone, will come back on you. Right? So we have to be very careful about what we do and what we say to people, because we should know that there will be reactions for these things. So Manduka Muni, he asked Yamaran, what did he said, I was piercing insects. I was a young boy and I was piercing insects like that. So Manduka Muni thought, this is not fair. I was just a young boy. I was a child. I didn't know what was good and what was corrected me. So Manduka Muni, he cursed Yamaraj. He said, your punishment is not fair. So he said, I curse you to take birth in the womb of a Sudra lady, in the womb of a working class woman. So it happened that Yamaraj was born in the womb of a maidservant woman in the palace of Hastinapur. And he was conceived in that womb by the semen of Vyasadeva. So Vidura was a saintly person. Actually, this cursing of Yamaraj was also a blessing. You know, sometimes we don't appreciate the blessings of Krishna. But it was a blessing because he was serving as Yamaraj. Every day he has to punish all the sinful people. Oh, this man, oh, okay, put him in Kumbhipakaloka, right? Put him in the boiling oil, and take this one, put him and let him embrace the red hot forms, and this one, let him be fed to the birds, and have this one, let his body be sewn, so attached, sew his body, stitch everything through his body. He would have to sentence people to different kinds of hell. So not a very pleasant job, you know, if you have to do that kind of work. Sentence people to all different suffering. So you don't meet very nice people, you know, you don't get good association. And Yamaraj is a devotee. He's actually devotee, but he didn't get much association. So it was arranged that he got a break from his job. That by the curse of Manduka Muni, he gave up, he was, you know, had to give up his position for some time, and he went off, he became Vidura. And so Vidura was a saintly person, and he was instructing Dhritarashtra. He came back. Actually, Vidura, when he was living in the palace with his brother Dhritarashtra, there was some quarrel, because Vidura would always tell Dhritarashtra, don't listen to your son. That Duryodhana, that son of yours is no good. He's very bad. Don't be influenced by him. So Duryodhana heard how Vidura was trying to influence his father. So Duryodhana threw Vidura out. He said, you get out from this palace before I beat you. So Vidura saw the mercy of Krishna in two ways. One way was Krishna was taking things away from him, taking away his comfortable position in the palace, but at the same time he saw Krishna's mercy, that Krishna's arranging for me to detach myself from the material world, and I can go to the holy places, and I can go and associate with all the saintly persons and hear from them. And Vidura did that. He went to Uddhava and he heard from Uddhava, and then he went to Maitreya and he heard from Maitreya. And these were all very great personalities, and they had been with Krishna at the time Lord Krishna was leaving the world. Lord Krishna had given instructions to Uddhava, and Maitreya was also there to hear. So Vidura was able to hear from them who had had direct association at the very final moments of Lord Krishna leaving this world. So Vidura came back to see his brother Dhritarashtra, and he wants to get his brother free from all of his attachment to the material world. And he tells Dhritarashtra that from birth you were blind materially, but you are also blind spiritually. You have no spiritual vision. And he said, now in your old age, you cannot hear well, you cannot properly digest food, you have to eat very simple food, and you are eating the remnants of your enemies like Bhishma. Vidura mentioned the name of Bhishma because it was Bhishma who killed all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra had a special hatred for Bhishma because he killed all of his sons. But still, Dhritarashtra was so much in ignorance that he was eating the remnants of Bhishma every day. So Vidura, in this way, by speaking these very important points to Dhritarashtra, he could impress on Dhritarashtra the situation in which he was in, and he could convince him to get out from the home. Getting out from the home is difficult because we're attached. We see Prabhupada also that he said, Krishna arranged for me to get detached. Krishna took everything away from me. Took away the business, and when there was no business, there was no money, and when there was no money, then the family no longer respected him anymore. So Prabhupada saw time to leave the home. Just like there was one sannyasi named Mahavishnu Goswami. Remember him? Gujarati man? Mahavishnu Goswami? We never met him. And he was an elder. He left the world now, but he used to go to Singapore. And he was very active in India, preaching in India. And he went to Australia also. Anyway, Mahavishnu Goswami, he said something very interesting. He said, it's better to leave the home in such a way that when you leave, the family will say, oh, where did he go? But if you don't leave the home, they will say, when are you going? If they have to say, when are you going, it's not very nice. But if you go before they see it, and they'll, oh, where did he go? So better to leave like that, you think. So Mahavishnu Goswami probably said like that. He left his home. He left his family. Anyway, the point is, detachment has to come. It is part of the Vedic culture to cultivate this vairagya, detachment, knowledge and detachment. Where there is genuine devotion, then there will be those two things, knowledge and detachment from the world. So we want to cultivate them. The more we have devotion, naturally these things manifest in us. The example is given, just like when you eat. In the beginning, maybe before you eat, you're hungry. And then you begin to eat. And as you're eating, you go on and you feel some satisfaction and relief from hunger. And then you feel nourishment. And then, okay, and I'm satisfied now. Can't eat anymore. You know, you're full, right? That comes about just as you go on eating. So in a similar manner, when we do devotional service for Krishna, then we automatically cultivate these two things, knowledge and detachment from the world. It has to come about just naturally, just by serving Krishna. We don't have to try to give things up. It just naturally comes about by hearing and chanting and engaging in Krishna's service. So we actually see, when we come to Krishna consciousness, that we actually become free of all anxiety. It is the nature of devotional service that it brings immediate relief from all kinds of distress. Distress is there in the material world. The body, miseries of the body, so many. Miseries from other living entities, nasty neighbors, nasty bosses, employers. So many different living entities can give us dogs, you know. You walk about here in Thailand in the night, you'll hit the problem with the dogs. You know, they're not like Indian dogs, you know. The Indian dogs are a bit more, they run away, but these dogs, they will just come and bite you. Nasty. So living entities give us a lot of trouble. And then miseries of the material nature. Sometimes it's so hot, other times it's so cold. Sometimes like here, it rains so much. We're coming up this time, Songkran, traditionally this is the time when the rain comes. It becomes very, very hot. Just like in India, the summer comes and then it's hot and hotter and hotter, and then finally the clouds come and thunderstorms and heavy rain. So similarly also here in Thailand also, we get, coming soon is the rainy season. Anytime it can rain now. So this is the misery of the material elements. Sometimes it's tsunami. Thailand had the big tsunami 20 years ago. Very, very, very big. It influenced not only Thailand, Malaysia also. Many people. You came that time. You came to Phuket. Prabhu came to Phuket 20 years ago. We were distributed. There was a tsunami, and Gokul Prabhu came with other devotees from Malaysia, and I was here, and we were distributing prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna. We did Sankirtan on the beach because many people died. You know, the tsunami was just so powerful. And so there were many spirits, there were many ghosts and things around, so we were chanting Hare Krishna to liberate everybody. So anyway, miseries of the material nature. Sometimes it's earthquakes, forest fires, so many problems, so much suffering in the material world. We are looking for happiness, but this is not the real place to find happiness. We can make some temporary solution to the problems, but the real problem is we're here in the material world, and we have to get out from this material existence and go back to be with Krishna. So this is Krishna consciousness, to bring us out of this ignorance, to bring us to the spiritual platform. Alright, are there any questions or comments? Yes, Manaji? Yaja? Yeah?
Krishna Maharaj, sorry. So sometimes I think is Krishna very demanding because he has everything and he can actually make everybody love him. But he's not doing that. Instead, he gives us choice. But because we have a free choice, we suffer so much. So sometimes I think like, does Krishna care about our happiness or he cares more about his own happiness? I'm just thinking like very materialistically.
Well, remember I spoke about that the other night, that real love is not forced. You're saying, you know, Krishna can make us love him, but that's not pure love. He wants us to love him naturally. He doesn't want that he has to force us to love him. We come here on our own choice. We've come here to be independent of Krishna. We turn away from him. We want to forget Krishna. And so Krishna, what can I do? They don't want to remember. The vast majority of living entities are there with Krishna in the spiritual kingdom. We are in the minority here in the material world. There's, only a small portion of living entities here in this world. There's many, many more living entities in the spiritual world with Krishna. And they all love Krishna. But they love Krishna naturally by their own choice, their own doing. Krishna didn't force them. They themselves chose to love Krishna. And Krishna facilitated, he helped them to come to him. But we bring the sufferings on ourselves, just like the persons in the prison. They say, the government, they're not doing anything to help me. But, you go against the laws of the government. What can they do? They have to protect the citizens, they have to protect the public. So they arrest the criminals and put them in jail. You can't blame the government for doing anything wrong. So similarly, we're here in the prison house, the material world. We're also like prisoners. Our material body is like the prison dress. And we're in shackles. We're chained. The chains are the three modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. They're like what's keeping us prisoners in this world. So So we put ourselves into this condition. It's not Krishna being, it's not that Krishna doesn't care about us. He does care about us. And that's why he comes. In so many different incarnations, he comes and he performs different pastimes. And 5,000 years ago, he came and spoke Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of everyone, to enlighten all of us. And he sends his pure devotees like Srila Prabhupadas and other great acharyas. He will send them from the spiritual world. So he does care about, this is how his caring. He sends all of these great souls and he comes himself and he speaks of Bhagavad Gita and performs all these pastimes just to attract us, to try to bring us out of our ignorant condition and to convince us that there's really nothing here in this world to keep us here. That why are we so attached to being here in this place? There's really nothing that we can really hold on to enjoy for any length of time. So that's the thing, is to just let go and hold on to Krishna. Give up the hold over the material nature and take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. And that will deliver us from all the miseries. So this is the compassion of Krishna, that he's trying himself in so many ways to attract us and to bring us out of this world and to save us from the misery. But we're thinking, oh, nobody's helping me. No, you're not caring about me. It's like maybe your parents, maybe the parents are wealthy and the parents are saying, come home, we'll take care of you, we'll pay for everything for you. No, I don't want to come, just give me the money. You tell the parents, I'm not going to come home, I don't want to be with you, just give me the money. I will do it, I will enjoy myself. So, parents say, well, we gave you money before, you blew it, you spent it all, you wasted it all, you got cheeky, and you lost all your money. Why we should give you any more money? We want to protect you. No, just give me the money. the parents think, why we will give her any more money? We already gave her money, she lost it all, wasted it all, we're not going to give her any more. But if she comes home, we'll take care of her. Like that. So Krishna's like that. He's the Father, and He's inviting all of us to go back home to be with Him. And He will take care of everything. There's no scarcity there. And there's no question of overpopulation. There's no question of unemployment. There's no question of any anxiety or wars or anything. Everyone lives in harmony in the spiritual kingdom. But we're living in anxiety in this place. So that's my response to your question. Thank you.
Maharaj.
Any other question?
Maharaj,
yes.
Question, Maharaj, tell that when we are in devotional service, the knowledge and detachment automatically comes here. But mostly we saw that we are in devotional service, still we are attached and full, so what we understand?
We think we're in devotional service, but we're still attached. Yes. Well, we have to be attentive, and we have to be careful, just like we talk about the anarthas, the dirty things in the heart. So it's not just only doing devotional service, but there's a certain quality also in devotional service, that we have to endeavor for that better quality in our devotional service. We have to be constantly checking ourselves to see how much are we actually progressing, how much are we giving up our attraction to the material world. Are we still drawn to watch the Bollywood movies every night? You know, some people, oh, there's a new Bollywood movie out, we have to watch it. People will sit up for hours to watch movies. Yes, come for Mongol Aarti. Oh, so early. How to come that time? You know, they don't want to make that sacrifice. So, similarly, people get money and they will spend a lot of money to buy clothes, jewelry, and the latest products, the things that, and you ask them, could you give donation for the temple? Oh no, I have no money. You ask them, can you buy a book? Oh no, yeah. So many other things I want to buy. Like that, we have so many material attachments, you know. So we have to recognize our taste. How much are we developing the taste for Krishna, to chant and to be with devotees? Just like you come here to be with devotees, that means you have a taste. You have some taste. You've come here to spend the time with devotees in concentrating devotional service. So it's very good. You have to go on from there. You know, you have to be careful. Of course, at the same time, you have to go back to the material life. You have a job. You have to maintain different commitments and family responsibilities. They cannot be neglected. But at the same time, we should always think in our heart that I want to be more with Krishna. That when Krishna gives me the opportunity, then certainly I will make more effort to be with devotees and to chant Hare Krishna and to do devotional service. All of these other things are just temporary, just for some time that I'm going to give them up. As soon as Krishna can show me the way out to get free from all of these things. You see, the one man was asking his guru, he said, Guruji, how can I get free from my material attachments? So the guru said to him, he said, just wait, in a little while I will tell you. So then later that afternoon, the disciple heard his guru calling out, help! Save me! Let me go! Let me go! And so the disciple came running, and he came running, and he saw his guru was holding a tree. And the disciple looked at his guru, the guru shouting, help! Let me go! And the disciple looked at his guru and said, Guruji, what's wrong? He said, I want to get free. I want to get free from this tree. And the disciple said, but Guruji, you're holding on to the tree. So then the Guru turned and looked at the disciple and said, yes. He said, the same way you are holding on to all these material things. You're saying how to get free. You're the one holding on. You just have to let go. And you can be free. If we want to be free, we can be free. It's our choice. Do we take shelter of Krishna or Maya? Do we embrace Maya? You want to hold on to Krishna, you have to let go of Maya. If you have one foot in one boat, one foot in another boat, it'll be very difficult. Two boats are going to come apart. So you have to be very careful. If we want Krishna consciousness, we have to be willing to give up the attachment to the Maya, to the illusion. And it comes naturally, without any effort, without even thinking about it, if you just stay in the association of devotees, chanting, dancing, taking prasadam, and hearing about Krishna, and talking to people about Krishna, naturally you'll become Krishna conscious. Just like the mango. You get the green mango and you get the red mango. It just takes some time. Leave the mango on the tree and it will become red. So devotees are like that. In the beginning we're like the green mango. We have the attachments, but if we just stay in the association, keep regularly chanting and hearing, gradually we get free from all of these attachments. And we can experience the real life. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupadas.